have Ralph Marano from East New Jersey, who's going to be talking about his passion for Packards
Okay.
and cars in general.
Well, I've been collecting cars all my life. I shouldn't say collecting, loving cars all my life since I'm a little boy. And I can remember sitting in the front seat of my father's car and he'd say, that's a Dodge, that's a Plymouth. And I was 5 years old and it was just a fascination from there. Later on in my life, I started with hot rods and then Corvettes and then Model A's and in 1978 I bought my first Packard. It was a strange experience. It was like love at first sight. I saw the car and just kept going over in my mind and over in my mind and over in my mind, and by the end of the day we end up leaving a deposit on it, and that started it all. Now we're up to over 60 Packards, and Darrens were my next passion, and I started with one and then two, and then now we're up to 10 Darrens. And then we started with the custom bodied cars, the one-offs that Packard had. And we started with this and then that, and then we started with the prototypes. I bought the first one, which I didn't realize when I bought it. I just liked the car, and we purchased it and started working on it. And then the second one, and then the second one, and then the second one, and then the second one became the fifth one, and then the sixth one. And then we started restoring them all, and we got them all back them all on the road now. We got the last one done last year. And to me, they're just a big bit of history, a big bit of American history. Before the war, what you drove was what you were. After the war, things changed. It was a little more about speed and well, I shouldn't say then. It was Packard had speed all the way in the 20s and the teens. They used to race, but the quality and the workmanship and the thought that went into every car was just unbelievable. When you pull these cars apart and saw how some of them were built, that's when we were the America. When you went to Detroit, you said, wow, this is us, look what we did. So I've been to the Packard plant several times, and you look at that and you just wonder what went through these people's minds when they worked every day. And I don't know whether they knew what they were creating when they did, but they did a phenomenal job as far as putting people to work, and the war effort. We were unbelievable. PT boats and the P-38 and things that we all came together and did as a country and as a company. So, and then after the war, things changed, people changed, and it's hard to believe that a company this big could have went out of business the way they did, or tried to hook up with another company, and both went out. These cars that I'm trying to preserve and doing it is, to me, in my heart and soul, is just like keeping the old image alive of what we were and what we did create and what we still can create. I get in and I drive them, I sit in them, and I just wonder what some of these, if they could talk, what they've been through and what they've seen, and the times that they were and who we were. I get into some of these limousines or something that we have, or town cars, and you sit in the back seat and you say, boy, if this car could only talk on what went on back here and what was said and the times. Some of the cars, I have one of the presidential Phaetons from Roosevelt, and you just wonder what was said back here, and it's just all history, and it just makes me feel so good that I'm bringing this all back and creating what was then, so that the future can see it and we can have it. The Packards were just, when I was a kid, I knew what a Packard was, but not to the extent that I know now. And it was first car with a steering wheel, first car with air conditioning, power windows. I mean, we were so innovative, and how a company like that can just disappear. And it's mind-boggling sometimes when you look and how they did them. I look at the research and some of the old pamphlets and what they did, and it really was great. It really was great. So it just makes me proud that I can do what I did to bring these cars back, and a lot of them will come back from the dead. We spent years doing some of these cars and the research to get them right. So I just love what I do, and can't say too much more about that.